Oh, sorry, slightly late. Are you? Who am I? Anyway, basically, welcome, however, whoever, wherever you are, however you are, you're welcome.
You're welcome here if you're she, he, we, or they. You're welcome here if you're gay, straight, or working it out. You're welcome here if you're in a relationship, single, divorced, or widowed. You are welcome here if you're inked, pierced, both, or neither.
You're welcome here if you're young.
Or young at heart.
You're welcome here if your neurons like to be typical or like to be spicy. You're welcome here if you're more Christian than Colin from Witch Hazel or haven't got the whole faith thing yet.
You are welcome here if you're living on a prayer or could use a prayer right now. You are welcome here if you've got it all sorted or if you've got doubts. You are welcome here.
Verily, this is true. Sorry, I haven't taken my jacket off yet. I should do it now. It's a bit hot. Hello. How are you all? Welcome. Hey, all right, Cookie Crew. I hope you're okay. Mr. and Mrs. Gibson, I hope last week's meal wasn't ruined by the surprise emergency announcement via everyone's phones. Retro, hope you're all right. And Rachel, good to be with you. Isabel, we salute you. Cheers, Retro. Better week this week. Good. Really glad to hear it. Waiting for your food shop to be delivered, then the weekend can start. Fantastic. You don't have to say which supermarket yours is being delivered from, but I had a delivery from, it just happened to be someone who's into metal. So it was really good when he delivered. So we had a whole kind of conversation about what we were listening to, who we'd seen, etc., etc. It was all good. So this is the last stream at this time for next weekend, next Friday, where we are at Greenbelt Festival at Bourton House, just outside Kettering in Northamptonshire. If you are at Greenbelt Festival, please do come and find us in the Hope and Anchor tent. There is a post on our Facebook page and in the Facebook group, Metal Methodists. So it's the last thing on Friday night in the Hope and Anchor tent, a heavy metal night ritual. We will be inviting you to join in with classics from Slipknot, Black Sabbath, Metallica, obviously, and Ghost, amongst others. So a chance to come as you are, but if you want to come, corpsed up, battle jackets, three-piece tweed suit, whatever. Honestly, it's just about being together. So if you are at the Greenbelt Festival, please come and say hello. It would be lovely to meet you in person. Oh, hello. Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm pressing buttons and nothing's happening. Amazing. Good. Yeah. So, you don't have to sing. You can just, have a bit of mosh. You can just nod your head in a classic support band styling. So Hope and Anchor also serves alcohol-free beers, wines, and spirits, as well as boba. Though I think there's still be boba left on the first day. Ran out at Cliffest, as well as teas, coffees, light refreshments. There's a whole host of conversations and discussions around life and faith throughout the whole weekend. I believe there is queer and hymns happening, which would be fantastic. And also another pioneering type minister, Darren Middleton, will be there. who his church, if you like, is a hairdressing salon. Doing kind of beauty and pampering therapies as well as haircuts. I realised when I bumped into him at Regenerate last year, I had just cut my hair. I realised I missed an opportunity there for him to cut my hair and have a good conversation that we could have streamed. That would have been interesting. So hence trying to grow it again. So if I see you next Friday night and I have no hair, it's because me and Darren met earlier in the day. But it'd be amazing to see you all. And Isabel, Survive Bloodstock. I've heard many reports from people in this community and people I met at an Eclipse party about just how wild some of those pits were in an awesome way. That's fantastic. Bitten by a spider in your own garden, so on antibiotics again. I'm so sorry. That it just keeps happening to you. I'm really sorry as well. I hope the antibiotics are working. Is there anything else that people are particularly stoked for, fired up about, that you want to share? Please do. But also, again, if there's stuff that is heavy and not in a cool metal way, be good to share some of that if that feels safe for you to do so. What have people been listening to this week? I found it really hard to listen to music recently, not because of any bands or anything, just like in me. When something gives you a lot of meaning and joy, also allowing you to vent, etc. But I find it really hard then to engage with it because it might become tainted in some way. I know that sounds completely bonkers, but yeah. So I'm after playing some loud tunes. That would be good. So, if anybody has any recommendations for what to put onto the Metal Methodist turntable in this coming week, getting stoked up for Greenbelt, please let me know. Isabel, did you encounter any new bands at Bloodstock that you can recommend? I know some people went to see Bleed From Within. Always good live. I mean, absolutely full on live. Any of the bands that you heard? It'd be good to share. So, just some tunage while perhaps people post a comment about good stuff that's difficult, stuff you're listening to, gigs you have been to, gigs you're looking forward to. I know Megadeth got a mention last week. Tickets were bought for that. Excellent. Cookie Crew. And I was just waiting. So I'm just going to put this on while people share. This one.
The highest king, will welcome me. I was lost, but he brought me in. His love for me. His love for me. The sun sets free. It's free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Free at last, He has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was still a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, He died for me. Who the Son sets free, it's free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. you are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Well, the sun sets free, all is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
So I have no idea how much of that played or didn't, because it's all glitching at my end. Hello if you're just joining us. So yeah, just asking for those just joining, what's been cool for you? Is there anything that's been heavy? Not in a cool metal way, like that fly. Be gone. It's cooking for 2.5 hours. We met Zach Wild. Wow, that's cool. Was he wearing the kilt? Oh, that's amazing. I know Gisela was saying a couple of weeks ago she was watching Def Leppard and Racken. That's cool. But you met Zach Wild, amazing. And Cookie beats the Aussie Expedition, excellent. I don't think we're going to regenerate this year, which is a shame because it would have been a nice thing to go and do. But yeah, thank you for sharing some cool stuff. Again, if there's stuff that's heavy and not in a cool metal way for you this week, a chance to share that if it's helpful. And I guess, yeah, I'd really appreciate your input, your thoughts, your advice. Not advice, your views, really. So if you were asked the question, as someone who likes metal of all genres, maybe you're somebody who, wears your metal t-shirts, I'm proud. Maybe you're somebody who kind of goths up. Maybe you're somebody who is partial to a bit of corpse paint or some, black nail varnish, lipstick, whatever. And if you are also a person of faith, how it was wearing the kilt. Oh, amazing! You see a beard that does mere mortals simply aspire to. That's beautiful. Isabel, that's amazing. Sorry, I was catching up with Rachel as well. Had a nice day out at Graves Park. Lovely. That's good. So, baby goats. Yes, it did. I was in Manchester yesterday, and as I sat in the car park, and I come to Manchester. I was born in Manchester, so being in Manchester, being born in Manchester, I should have put those pieces together to go, it's going to rain. I was meeting somebody from Zimbabwe, and having to say, I'm really sorry. It's been like scorching sunshine and hosepipe bands the last 3 months, and you've arrived and it's raining. Sorry. Welcome to the UK. I hope you didn't get too wet, but well, there's a cafe, and I hope you managed to dry off later on as well. But that sounds like a lovely afternoon, even with the rain. I'm glad you had a good time. So if you are a person into alternative music, that we like to call music, and whatever your age, you present in a way that expresses that love of music, whatever genre, subculture, whatever. And if you also happen to be a person of faith, how would you respond to a genuine kind of question? A lot of this imagery and these lyrics are kind of quite dark, scary, often violent. How do you hold that together with faith? I guess trying to answer that question is the very reason this metal methods thing exists, and perhaps it not being understood, or a sense of perhaps it being judged, or all sorts of assumptions being made. I'm aware of my own ability to make assumptions, so I'd be really interested to know how you would respond to that question. If you have any thoughts on that, it might be that you'll go, if you don't get it, it's not for you. But yeah, I guess wanting to hear where the other person's coming from and unpick why. Equally back to them. Why do they see it as something that wouldn't hang together with being a person of faith? What assumptions are they making? What assumptions are I making about them and their experience? But yeah, how would you respond in a sort of kind of gracious way? How have you responded? Have you had that sort of question? If you are a person of faith, do you go to like a physical church anywhere? Do you find yourself toning it down? In terms of the way you present, or do other people kind of, I don't know, there's one person, who is very much a goth and is told that, you can't necessarily be a goth and a Christian. You're kind of going, whoa, what? why? And that's from within kind of, a goth subculture. Why would you do that? Have you ever encountered questions like that? Comments from other people? How do you respond to them? How do you then also kind of, at the same time, if you're like me, disappear into a whole load of internal introspection and kind of, and then, also remain true to who you are as well. Love to hear your thoughts and your experiences. It might not be about metal or music. It might be something else about you that other people think, well, their understanding of faith and Christianity and Christians, that's, you're not meant to do that or like that or go to those sorts of places or whatever. How do you respond to that? Not to say that sometimes perhaps it's a valid question, absolutely, and perhaps sometimes there's a valid critique that others maybe need to hear. I don't know. So for example, at this Eclipse party last week, complimenting somebody on their Papa Emeritus tattoo, and then his partner said, "Oh." I went, "Oh, but I'm the minister." Oh, right. That's weird because we've just come back from Bloodstock, but like we're on a train in Holland just before that, and this woman just kept scowling and staring at us and this tattoo and scowling and tutting and kind of I know that person is the person tutting and scowling, whether they were a Christian, whether they were a Catholic, and therefore found it kind of whatever. But how do you respond to those sorts of questions and critiques, and also anything else that has been heavy for you this week, including spider bites? Heavy and not in a cool metal way. We want to acknowledge, lay down, and let go of. A chance to share in a comment on Facebook or YouTube if you feel so inclined. That would be amazing. Thank you very much.
When I survey the wondrous cause on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and poor content on all my pride. Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast in the dress of Christ my God. Oh, loving face that shall behold, I sacrifice them to your blood. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did such love and sorrow meet?
so rich a crown, but a whole realm of nature mine. Offering far too small, the soul of living soul demands my soul, my life, my
So again, I don't know. Every time I play something, the internet doesn't like it. Maybe you don't either, but you know, there we go. So I'm pressing anything and nothing's happening. So I don't know if you can hear me. I'm going to assume that you can. There we go. I tried to put comments up and I put 75 up at once. Thank you, Retro. This season I'll be mostly listening to Deep Purple and Rainbow. Two bands you've not listened to in years. Oh, yes. Yes, Machine Head is an absolutely epic. David. Hello, sir. Thank you very much. I'm also with you. May your tea bags always be bursting. No, not bursting, because you get tea leaves in your face and you don't like that. You don't like that. No one likes that. This is awesome to hear. Thank you, Cookie. I always go to church in my rock t-shirts. I'm sometimes on brand with your Iron Maiden fan club Belshazzar's Feast t-shirt. Brilliant. Well done. Well done. Yeah, excellent. That is good. That is very, very good. Maybe I could turn up in my Iron Maiden Hallowed Be Thy Name t-shirt. This is good. Do you get any then comments about Eddie not looking very nice, and why, if you are a Christian, would you wear something with this horrible monster on it? But yeah, no, thank you. Okay, so I might go backwards in terms of go some old school and work forwards again. Thank you, Retro. That's very, very helpful. Banging tunes, excellent. Thank you. It's very kind. Unless you mean the tunes you're listening to, where you are. Either or, great. So Isabel listens to Rainbow at least once a week. Man, you saw him as a teenager. Yeah, I haven't seen Deep Purple. Obviously, I haven't seen Rainbow. I have seen Whitesnake supporting Def Leppard. I mean, don't get me wrong, Whitesnake, some absolutely banging tunes, but it is basically David Coverdale and Rent a Musician. Nothing wrong with that. But it was just a bit kind of he would do this thing where he'd get to he'd play a song, and instead of just finishing it, they'd do this like big pause and wait for everyone to go, "Wah!" And the spotlight was on him. And look, hey, if I look that good when I am anywhere near the age when he was doing that, and I saw him, then if I'd ever looked that good, I'd have been happy. But oh dear. Anyway, no, that's good. So I think this is a very underappreciated genre. Along with now, so question: are we talking metal wind chime, which would be very metal? Are we talking sort of wooden wind chime, or a combination thereof? So a sort of like kind of earthy wood sound, maybe morphing into a sort of more high pitched sort of virtuosic solo with some metal wind chimes. Oh, cool! That's right. It's like, every time you place a thing, I put Machine Head on. No, cool. Yeah. Oh, Lord from Isabel. This is cool. All these messages, loving it. Got some astonished looks at my new church when I'm on my Judas Priest t-shirt. Fantastic. I assume well, again, so next time wear a Redeemer of Souls one and see if there's any comments. That's really interesting, isn't it? Do we judge? Yeah, especially to people. I mean, I don't know. The half people who kind of question it actually know what the band is, who the band is, what they sing about, what some of the members may or may not believe, etc., etc. I'm waiting until if there's another Cliff Richard tour and he just happens to issue a T-shirt that has some sort of horrendous picture on it. Will people like my mum be rocking up into church with their Cliff Richard T-shirt on there? I don't know. Frozen again. Metal wind chimes. Okay, this is good. Yeah, no, fair enough. Maybe there's a sort of avant-garde fusion spin-off subgenre of wooden wind chimes then, underpinned by some. I'm going to do this again. I always get confused between the glockenspiel and the xylophone. And I didn't do German at school. We did Russian and French. Maybe my schools knew something that others didn't. But I can't remember therefore which one's metal out of those two either. Anyway, you have won it. Excellent. Good. Did that get intriguing questions and glances? And are people just kind of shocked? Do people ask why are you wearing that, or like how can you wear that? Because it doesn't look very nice as a person of faith. I guess it's when people are asking genuine questions, and it's just how to respond in a way that helps conversation and mutual understanding, I guess. I dare say there be such conversations at Greenbelt, so I should be calling upon Nigel and Mrs. Gibson and other members of the community who'll be at Greenbelt to we can all respond together wearing various t-shirts. So thank you for sharing stuff, and if there's stuff you want to lay down, let go of and cast, then let's do something now as we share together in these quotes.
The principalities and will to power, the worms from within my own darkest hour. I confess all the regrets and the regrets, the burdens and fears, the lament and the tears. I lay them down.
Saying, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, even if you do not like Iron Maiden, but why would not you? And I will give you rest. May rest and peace and hope and wholeness be yours in whatever way you need it this night. Just going back to the comments. Yeah. Yes, a bit of sort of wind chime metal meditation music. Although I've noticed that Nico from Iron Maiden, and I'm sure many others drummers have wind chimes about their drum kit, as well as gongs and various things. A sort of full prog rock kit. And now, reading from the Bible, What is Metal? So Metal, it's made of paper, the Metal Bible. Get yours at metalbibleinternational.com. We should be reading from the Metal Bible at Greenbelt. But this week, the words in the Metal Bible for this coming Sunday are these. Except I'm looking in the wrong bit, aren't I, James? Yes, you are, you muppet. So bear with. Run faster, hamster, that's powering the internet. From the good news about that bloke Jesus, from according to someone thought to be called Matthew, Matthew 16, verses 13 to 20, Peter's declaration about Jesus. And maybe it comes back, this kind of actually comes back to that question I asked earlier on, about people's responses to whether it's the t-shirt we're wearing, the music we listen to, how we dress, etc., etc. So verse 13 in chapter 16 says this: Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, who do people say the Son of Man is, and the anointed one sent by God? And they said, some say John the Baptist, so the one who took himself out into the wilderness near the River Jordan, and said, God's sending somebody, so prepare and turn back to God. And if you're up for it, as a sign, as a symbol, hop in this river and I'll baptize you. Others say Elijah from the Old Testament, one of God's prophets. And still others say Jeremiah, another Old Testament, or indeed any other of the prophets. Jesus said to them, but who do you say I am? And Simon Peter answered, you are the Messiah. He's not. He's a very naughty boy. You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. So the Messiah is, means God's anointed one sent by God. And in, I guess, Hebrew Jewish thought at that time, it was very much a militaristic person, someone who would come and liberate God's people from Roman occupation. But Peter says, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered him, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood was, apart from being a good poisoner, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you. So you didn't know it because someone told you, or you've learnt it in school, but God has revealed this to you through God's Spirit. And I tell you, Jesus tells Peter, you, Peter, are the rock on which I will build my church, and the gates of Hades, hell, place of the dead, I suppose, will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loose in heaven. So as above, so below. Then he sternly ordered the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Hence the rumor that he was in fact a naughty boy. So I guess it asks, well, for me, it asks the question. Sorry, I'm just seeing this one. Yeah. And I think so. That's kind of what we're going to do at Greenbelt, but using, metal anthems: Slipknot, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Ghost, and I guess I'd use the word hymn, and I think some people go, well, that's not a hymn, because none of them specifically mention Jesus, and some of the lyrics are quite dark. Maybe it's about how you use that music to express from within yourself some of this music and the words. The local church is definitely not ready for your Holy Diver t-shirt. Maybe we should all wear them at the same day in the same church, and then I'll report back how we got on. I've done this. I think I've shared this before, that I went to a church, and in case of not having my Vic Rattlehead euthanasia t-shirt, which as a concept of society, and we are the damned of all the world, the youth of today, or the next generation in a world that's suffering climate change and war and all those things. It is a kind of euthanasia, but with a why. We've been hung out to dry by the generations before, was a sentiment in that song. And it's got holding a baby light with a kind of cowl up like this about it. But maybe that would upset people at church, so I just wore a Guns N' Roses t-shirt. It just had Use Your Illusion on it, and the Guns N' Roses, and it was white. It wasn't even black. That didn't go down well, because anything that isn't worship music or Christian music is in some way of the devil. Even though Sidney Booth, founder of the Salvation Army in the UK, who all of his mission and ministry work was through the Salvation Army bands, and his is attributed to having said, well, why should the devil have all these known tunes? And we know that Charles Wesley wrote well-known tunes. Some of them they were singing in the pubs in order to express faith. So yeah, of its day, it was like kind of songs of praise, but with tunes that people recognised. So not a million miles, in my view, away from songs of praise, but in the style of metal, which would be incredible. And I guess try and have a little go at that at Greenbelt this weekend. But yeah, so I guess is part of the question that people have when they see people wearing t-shirts with Eddie on or Vic Rattlehead or I don't know, whatever, Metallica t-shirt, whatever, but it all looks a bit, and therefore you saying Jesus is, you're a person of faith, you're meant to be saying that Jesus is the light of the world, and so the way you look and dress is not what portraying Jesus in a good way. Is that part of the question? I guess what I would want to say, I don't know what you think, but I'd want to say that actually each of us are made in the image of God. Genesis says that God creates, as a story of Genesis, creation being kind of a metaphor, a sort of probably Bronze Age metaphor, oral tradition of how the world came to be. Total respect to dinosaurs here, and T-Rex in particular. But I forgot what I say. But so actually this music that does something to us and is really expressive and fires our souls and our spirits, and how is that not also good? If it's inciting you to violence and to hurt people or to hurt yourself, I think that's where I have got questions, concerns. What does that take us anyway from saying that I believe that Jesus was somebody sent by God? I don't think so. And also, why isn't God for people who listen to, play, enjoy rock, metal, gothic music, gothic attire? All of that. So maybe we are saying stuff. Thank you, Paul. Yes, Scandinavian Metal Praise is a cool album of metal style hymns. Yes, it is. And in Sweden, Carl Jonsson, who is behind the Metal Bible, they've got a couple of albums. I don't know if they use it in work. He curated an album of kind of Christian metal bands like Narnia and various others that are epic. And there is Metal Church as well, isn't there? Is that Switzerland, I think? Not Metal Church, the German band, but Metal Church, a metal church. Metal style hymns. And if you find them on YouTube, AI generated quite a lot, but some of them are pretty cool. Often quite power metal as well, like wah. So good to see you, Paul, by the way. This music, even if it's not overtly Christian, other people writing it, playing it, singing it aren't Christian. I still think there's some. I still think there's something of God in it. I think again, I've said this before, but even some of the stuff that aims to shock, as did Alice Cooper, as did Kiss in their own way, and even the sort of kind of Nordic black metal bands for all the sort of stuff about Satan. There's a certain shock, horror, and an expression from people who are questioning the way society is, asking some big questions, the same sort of questions that faith asks, but also questioning some of the powers and structures that are including some of the things that Christians have done and got involved in over the past, like slavery. It's So I still think that does the t-shirt you wear, music you listen to, say anything about who you think Jesus is? I don't know, any more so than a twin set in pearls or a very nice suit and a very nice tie. Because I work with the guy at the council down south, and he always refused to wear a tie, even if he was like meeting like assistant director people, and because he noticed that if I was meeting, sort of assistant director level people, I want better put a tie on. He's going, well, no, I'm not going to do it, because like it's like a noose. It's a symbol of I suppose from a sort of Marxist point of view, kind of enslavement, that you are within this structure and you are way down here in the power of things, and other people are up here, and so its expectation is that you are in some way enslaved to it. So what does a tie say about who Jesus is, and about power structures in the world? Maybe we need to wear heavy metal t-shirts with ties over the top of them as a sort of subversive symbol, as well as sort of a love of metal. I don't know. I don't know. I just find it interesting, and so as people of metal, is that why people ask the question? How do you hold this music together and all its imagery and all its words with faith? Is it because actually that doesn't speak of Jesus to them? And how can we kind of respond to that, I guess, is my question. Retro internet. So you were listening to, so it's frozen on my screen with like very faint, it's fires here. I was listening to album one earlier on, and they have a song called Jesus, and the line, praise the Lord Jesus, praise the Lord Jesus. I need to go and look at that. Slave to the power of death. Yes. Why do I have to be a power slave? Well, yeah, it's all these questions that are in metal music, that actually, by wearing those, listening to this music, not dressing like the vast majority of people dress, actually is a statement of, it's rebellion, isn't it? That's what it's about, but also of liberation, I would say, and that is absolutely what I think Jesus is about. That you might have life, and life in all its fullness. And so the questions are, who gets to decide what's proper, what's not? Where is all the power in those sorts of questions and views? And also, I can think sometimes, why is it that people? It's almost like people feel threatened by it. That if we construct an idea of Jesus, which is a bit like the see in kind of 60s, 70s Hollywood films, where Jesus, a Jewish man in the Middle East, somehow has miraculously beautifully coiffured. He would have given Motley Crue and Poison a run for the money with the hairspray. Beautifully coiffured, blonde hair, and even Robert Powell with his darker hair and his piercing blue eyes, culturally that's not what Jesus would have looked like, and yet we have this construct of what Jesus is, of what or who God is, and anything that is other than that, is it because we feel threatened by it? And therefore the stuff that wants to question it, which a lot of metal does, often very validly, or the questions are valid, or the critiques in terms of Christendom and things like that. To not engage with it is easy, because if you engage with it, and then the construct of who we made, or who we need Jesus to be, and who we say Jesus is because it's actually the Jesus that we need, that gets questioned, and the whole facade comes crumbling down. So is there an element of fear of things that are different and other? But again, how many times did Jesus go and hang out with the people that everyone else said they're a bit dodgy, because of the job they did, because they weren't born in the right place, because sadly at the time they're a woman and therefore not seen as a legally valid person to stand up and give testimony in court? Jesus becoming unpopular because he went, stop profiteering off of people trying to come and worship in the temple, and tips over the tables and gets very upset about it. He doesn't endear people to himself in that way. and people feel threatened by it. And yet Jesus goes continually to those who have been and are made to feel other or unsure. And so therefore, absolutely, faith and metal go hand in hand, because it isn't a phase. One of my favorite black metal YouTubers posted something recently where it's a picture of him now and a picture of him when he was sort of in his teens. He's going, it was phase, mum. And yeah, this is part of who we are and how we live alongside what we believe. It's not just a thing that's the sense that it's something to grow out of. And I think that often if people are still into this music and you don't have to wear the t-shirts, I get all of that. You can just be who you are and dress how you want. Absolutely fantastic. More power to your elbow and your riffing hand. But at the same time, as you said, Isabel, when you go to places in t-shirts, we've all probably experienced at some point a little bit of kind of like, whoa, or people make assumptions and think you look threatening in some way and cross the road to avoid you. But yet we're still here and we still love this music. And those of us in this community are also trying to follow Jesus as well. I just think God's big enough for all of it, is my view. There we go. Isabel. I wore a tie whilst dressed as a schoolboy for AC/DC gigs. Fantastic. And did you enter the gig while sort of hopping sideways into the line that you're going to stand in? That'd be cool. Yeah, and I think Retro's right. I think a lot of this does come back to a human need to control and decide, maybe in a slightly dualistic way, right and wrong, correct belief, heretical, she's a witch. And actually, it is about death, because it's about control and it's not about people flourishing. It's about power and control, who's right, who's wrong, to flourish and have life in all its fullness, and to be the divine bearers of custodians of the divine, as Hans Gray to say, that we were born to be, and we can do that in whatever t-shirt we play. That's very well said. Faith and metal both rock. Yes. I'll shut up now, because basically that. So Midnight Metal Monastery have a new website, midnightmetalmonastery.com. So if you haven't got your earlugs around Midnight Metal Monastery, it is a radio show with some amazing tunage, and I highly recommend it. So please do check out midnightmetalmonastery.com, and have a listen. In fact, as well as going backwards in time musically, I might go and listen to some heavy Led Zeppelin riffage, actually. And then I might get my ear around what you guys are playing at Midnight Metal Monastery. Is my sort of, I'm in a place where I can hear you again. Thank you, David. Retro, thinking about wearing a band t-shirt to a church show is narcissistic and designed to wind people up and get people to look at you. Yeah. It's like, it's what you wear all the time, and so you unwittingly walk into a church, people go, whoa, but actually it's just who you are and it's what you wear all the time. Then maybe people need to wind their neck in. I don't know, maybe in that context. If you go to church, you wear what you want, but I tone it down for service. I hear that. Yeah, and again, so I think when I went to like weddings or stuff, I think I might wear a shirt, but I still don't wear a black one, or just kind of go, ooh, how kind of metally gothicy can I make this sort of formal attire? This sounds like fun. And maybe you're right. Maybe there is too much focus on well, in all respects, what we look like and what we wear and blah, blah, blah. And basically it's just about respecting each other and, yeah, you know, wear what you want, listen to what you want, love it, respect yourself, respect others. Yeah. This thought was fantastically inclusive. Goths, leather and denim, giant bananas. I misread that as bandanas. Dinosaurs and a guy dressed crowd surfing. Fantastic. Brilliant. Brilliant. I no, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. You know, my brain goes. I kind of think about Zach Wilder, his kilt, and when he got his leg up on the monitor, playing a couple of times. Okay, I wonder what. Anyway, I was thinking about Jesus and his stuff. Anyway, no, yeah. Anyway, okay. I'll get my mind out the gutter. So, perhaps there's stuff we want to acknowledge as hope and concern for others. Thinking about places with wildfires. Thinking about those who've had a better week, but perhaps things are still a bit tough. People struggling with long-term health things as well as spider bites. Just thinking about on the way back from where I was before, there was news of a shopping centre being hit twice by Russian drones, acknowledging there's been drones attacks in Russia as well, but all the places where there's war. So a chance to acknowledge and express our hope and concern for the stuff that is not about life in its fullness that's going on in the world at the moment. So if you pray, a chance to do that in whatever way that works for you, or just to kind of hope and concern for things that bothers you, and to sharing these words if it's helpful.
To the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace as we seek to show grace to those we feel have wronged us. Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
And now the notices, especially because Angela's here. Your bleach splattered t-shirt with logo, only the shroud remains. That's cool, man. That's awesome. That's excellent. I do hope they may be mass produced and available on your Midnight Metal Monastery website at some point. That's cool. That's very good. I bet it does, but that's cool. That's excellent. Nice. I guess the only to say this time next week we'll be at Greenbelt in the Hope and Anchor tent. And last thing in the Hope and Anchor tent on Friday night, I think about 9:30, will be a heavy metal night ritual. A chance to sing metal anthems together. Like I said earlier, Metallica, Ghost, Black Sabbath, Slipknot, others. So a chance to do that. Various other activities taking place. No pressure to sing or join in. You can just nod your head. You can crowd surf as Jesus if you want to. Just make sure you're wearing something underneath. And, at least a shroud. And there's activities, but again, feel free to join in, not join in, or just turn up and partake in a alcohol-free beverage. Blessings to you too, and to all at Midnight Metal Monastery and the new way. And we shall have a good time at Stone Dead then, Isabel. Fantastic. So that'll be about 9:30. Obviously, for copyright reasons, we won't be streaming that, but I will be streaming internet allowing from my phone, wandering around the Greenbelt site. So if you are around, come and say hello, and maybe we can do a bit of live streaming together. That'd be cool. No pressure to. Don't have to be on stream if you don't want to be. But just be cool to, if nothing else, it's years since I've been to Greenbelt. Is the Tiny Teeth tent still there? be nice to have a tiny tea at a tiny tea tent. Assuming they serve Yorkshire tea. I have to take my own tea bags. Whoa. Thank you, Julie. Amazing. Take care. Good to be with you. And also with you, Mr. and Mrs. G. I really hope that a Greenbelt will bump into Mr. and Mrs. Fender, and they'll be like the best musical lineup ever. Especially if we find somebody called Marshall. Yeah. Cool. So Tiny Tea Tent is still there. Fantastic. Good. So yeah, if it's not too far from the Hope and Anchor, I'll be there. So yeah, I think we're coming afternoonish, heading off afterwards. But yeah, we shall try and find people. And so Angela, it's stone dead. It's people coming back from Bloodstock. People still recovering their neck from download. And Angela is also at Big Church Festival. Excellent. I believe there's. I think there might be some stuff happening on a half pipe at Big Church Festival. So I hope that's good. And yeah, so I will try and stream from the festival site. So there'll be some live bits next Friday. Not quite sure what time, but it'll be on and you'll see it. And hopefully we'll get to see people. But at 9:30 at the Hope and Anchor at Greenbelt, we shall do a heavy metal night ritual. Cool. Thank you, Cookie Crew. See you later. And whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, may you be more vile. Be more vile, people. Drink more tea. And yeah. Until then, sway with me, Metal Compline. Sway. Peace out, blisters.